What's up, fam? It's Calla from Recalibrate, back with episode 9 of the Lightin Up Podcast. On today's episode, we have my friend Tim Schwartz of the Rainbow Bridge Van, and he is just a light being of pure joy and happiness, full of rainbows. We talk all about being yourself, showing up authentically, not giving a fuck what other people think, and envisioning a new earth, whatever that looks like for you. For Tim, his new earth has a lot of rainbows, stuffed animals, bright neon lights, full technicolor. So it was really fun getting a glimpse into the vision he sees for the future, including a compound where he hopes he can provide a space for digital nomads or creatives on the go to come together, find some community, and get back to the land. So it's really exciting to hear about the things that Tim's doing and the things that he's learning along the way. I had a great time with him visiting the Rainbow Bridge Van, so if you're checking this out on YouTube, you'll be able to see a little bit of the van. Otherwise, either way, I think you'll definitely get something out of it. Tim is an awesome guy, and like I said, just a light being himself. So, and maybe an alien too. So thank you so much for tuning in. Before we get into it, I just want to give a shameless plug for myself. If you're listening to this around the time the episode drops, or at least before September 23rd, 2021, that's when I'm starting the Awakened from the Matrix support group for aliens like myself, or maybe like you listening, or other people who are just feeling alone or confused, or just looking for like-minded community or support during these crazy times. So we're going to be talking about all sorts of things, whether it be finding the balance between being an activist and also maintaining your inner peace and sanity. We're going to talk about, preparedness versus scaredness, all sorts of different things, balancing light and dark, and just how we can all support each other in these crazy times. So if you are interested in learning more, you can hit me up on Instagram at Recalibrate, and I'd be happy to answer your questions about that support group or really anything else. So thank you so much for taking the time to tune in. As always, nothing on this podcast represents legal, medical, professional advice of any sort. It's just for entertainment purposes only. And with that all being said, I hope that you can grab a candle, maybe some sage, Palo Santo, sweetgrass, sacred smoke of any kind, and let's lighten up together.
Welcome. We're going to go to space today. It's going to be exciting.
With your captain, Tim.
Commander Schwartz here.
Commander Schwartz.
We don't know where we're going to exactly land. We got to give up control and see what happens.
Surrender. All right. Well, with that note, what's up, fam? It's Calla from Recalibrate, here with my friend and alien, my friend Tim of the Rainbow Bridge Van, where we are. So before we get started with this conversation, I hope that we could take a minute and just ground into the present moment with 3 deep breaths together. Let's take the deepest breaths that we've taken all day. So let's breathe in through our nose and let it out. We'll do that 2 more times. I'm just going to light this candle, call upon Tim's highest self, my highest self, all of the benevolent alien angel beings out there to be with us in this conversation, to help Tim and I anchor more light and love into this planet, to make the world a more fun, bright, neon, awesome place. And I just ask that you be with us and inspire us through this conversation. So it is.
Boom.
What's up, Tim?
What's going on? Welcome.
Welcome to the Rainbow Bridge Van. Can you tell us a little bit about you and what is the Rainbow Bridge Van?
Yeah, my name is Tim, and I am a voyager on this planet. I'm here to explore and set new territories for new ways of life and new ways of being. And this right here is a beautiful new transportation device to expand your awareness of what we can do and be and spread neon everywhere. So
yeah,
it's not only a car, but it's an everything. So welcome to my new everything.
New everything.
Small steps.
Yes. You've got big things in the works. This is just one piece of the puzzle, really. You
got to have steps. So this is sort of the first tangible step of creating. The big vision is a big community for digital nomads with a spaceship in the middle of it. So you got to have a first step. This is the first mini spaceship.
Right, mini spaceship to explore, get the lay of the land. Yeah. And you found, well, we'll get into the home base, but first let's just talk about, many of you may not know Tim, but he is Inspire with Words on Instagram and also the Rainbow Bridge Van on Instagram. And I met you I met you through Lisa Marie, but then I saw you around at the Kava bar, and you just you are light. Like, you are a rainbow alien light being that just kind of floats around and leaves little droplets of smiles. And even your your previous car, it says be...
Don't worry, be happy.
Yeah.
A giant happy face on the front of it.
Yeah, so you just radiate love and positivity, really, from your whole being. And this is just the next level of love and rainbows.
It's the setting the bar, because the bar, I don't like the bar. I don't go to bars. I don't drink. So we're bringing new bars to life in more ways than one.
Yeah, making the party a different party. Kava, maybe.
I've served kava out of here, and it did really well. So yeah, this could be a kava bar.
Yeah. So you were talking about how, before we started recording, you were talking about dynamic art. Do you want to tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people ask me, what's the Rainbow Bridge? The Rainbow Bridge. It means a lot of things. There's a Native American prophecy that basically states that all people, all walks of life, different colors of the rainbow come together, will have a new way of life. That's kind of probably the best well-known. Jimi Hendrix has got the Rainbow Bridge album. Apparently animals, when they die, they cross through the Rainbow Bridge. All these things I knew about. Well, not the animal one or the Jimi Hendrix album, actually. But I saw this wrap, this sort of rainbow wrap on a truck. And then I'm like, man, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen. I'd love to do that in the van. I saw it on a Lamborghini. Maybe it wasn't the coolest thing, but I'm like, it would just be really fun to do that on a much larger scale. And I've done a lot of universal things. I mean, I've given hugs all around the world. I've worked with homeless people in gigantic art car parades in front of 500,000 people dancing. There's been so many different types of things that have been really attracting different people from different walks of life, but this is the most diverse element, because I just think it's so out of people's repertoire of what they've seen. So dynamic art can really get you out of your box. And then we live in this such divided world, and like a bridge is something that can bring us all together, no matter who you are, what you believe in, rich, poor, black, white, and that's all different angles. Kids, like I'll go to Walmart, and the parking lot of Walmart, I'll just be swamped. Not that Walmart is the gauge of anything, but there's just dynamic art, in my opinion, is the one thing that is more universal than anything.
Yeah. So dynamic art is basically you being the art and embodying the art, right? Correct?
It can be you wearing a neon t-shirt. It could be because this is an extension of myself, the van is. It could be this, property I have with this new house I'm remodeling. It could be a gigantic mural that people have never seen that before in such a big house. Dynamic art could be this little llama corn right here that, they're not expecting that. I think anything that takes you by surprise.
Yeah. Okay.
That gets you out of this loopiness that we all have.
Right. I think it's beautiful because it is eye-catching. Like, for those of you maybe who haven't seen it yet, you'll have to go check him out his Instagram. But you can see it's like this just, not fluorescent, but iridescent. That's the word. Iridescent van that just attracts everyone. And so that's the beauty of it, that you drive down the road and people are like, whoa, look at that. That's so cool. And even if just for 1 second, even in passing on the freeway, you're bringing joy to people.
yeah, these things that we don't even know we're doing, which is, I think, is the beauty of life. You don't even know what you're doing. As long as you embody it, you like it. That's a great place to start, and you will be confirmation. The world does that and gives us. That's a good point. Thank you.
Yeah, that was beautiful. His phone just dinged as confirmation. Like, it is just about being you
and not caring about. Of course, you want the outcome, but when you really like something, like, I have no reason for doing this. I just need a new car. Ultimately, everyone's like, what's the van? I'm like, I just need a new car. And like, why can't my car be really cool?
Yeah.
And rainbowy. And I mean, I had a Prius and it was cool, but it had 160,000 miles on it. It was time for an upgrade. I mean,
technically you still have it. It's right there.
I still have it. It's sort of just there, It was like an antique.
This is where I started and this is where I am.
You got to have levels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that I admire about you and that I always notice about you is that you really do embody the truth of who you are. You I think the first time I met you, you were wearing Pac-Man pants, and you just are completely 100% authentically yourself, and it's really beautiful to witness, and it empowers me to step into my own, not weird but in a bad way, but weird in like a different, unique, like just doing the things that are fun or that you did when you were a kid but we've just lost touch of as we grow up.
I think a lot of people want to fit in, whatever that means. And like right now, if you want to fit in, it means probably you're going to be looking like you're wearing all gray and black and muted because you don't want to be seen. That's cool. I get it. That's fine. To each their own.
Right.
But the more I can fully embrace myself, like you said, other people might see that and be like, wow, that gives me permission to maybe jump off the ledge a little bit and maybe wear that thing that I don't want to wear.
Right.
Once again, confirmation. So we're just going to go, I don't even get texts anymore, so God's just talking. God's always talking.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's just us being our unique selves and not caring what other people think, as long as we really like it. Like, I'm not just picking up a flamingo shirt because I'm like, oh, I think people will like that. I like this, so I like this van. People will then like it. It's like, I think a lot of the world is where people do things where maybe they don't truly like it, but they think other people will like it. It's the other way around. You can't care about other people. You got to like it, and then eventually other people will because they feel that off.
Yeah, it's contagious. You can feel like, oh, like, you can feel from you, like, Tim's not doing this to get attention or, like, to do anything. Like, this is Tim. Tim loves neon, rainbow, fun shit. Like, and that's the beauty of it. Then we can all feel that and feel that you're moving from that authentic place inside you.
And I feel like there's a place for it because I don't see it anywhere. So I'm like, let me create that because I want it. I found this really cool place on Instagram. A friend of mine went there and ate. I'm like, this is my happy place. But there's not a lot of that, but it's cool to see others. It's called Flower Burger. It's all throughout Europe, and they're making it to LA coming soon. And it's literally rainbow vegan burgers. I'm like, and then you look inside, it looks like this. And I'm like, thank you. So it's like connecting to places that's where I want to be, but there hasn't been a lot of that. So let me take the first step in creating more of that, and then you see other like that around.
Right, and when you're doing it and embodying it, then it's also being reflected back to you because it always starts with us, right? Like with everything.
So I'm here to create a rainbow happy land.
And it started with the Prius, and then we moved up to the Rainbow Bridge van. And then do you want to tell us a little bit about like your ultimate vision? You just got some land? Yeah,
I got 50 acres, and I think what I am is to become a giant glitch in the Matrix. All this is just an illusion or a computer program, or an illusion meets a computer program, or an illusion of the programmer creating the program. I found land and it's the 1600 whatever way. Like that doesn't.
You just told your address.
I've exposed myself. It's all there. I have nothing to hide. Just go find me. I guess I don't know, or try to find me. Yeah. You don't know. It doesn't matter.
It's elusive.
Yeah, it's all out here.
Yeah. I appreciate that actually because there's nothing to fear.
No. Right. Everyone's like, I can't do that, or or then it like exposes stuff, and then, for instance, someone was like made a comment on one of I don't even know what I did, and it was just I literally had we're doing a construction rehab on this house that's on this property, and I was hitting some stuff, and of course the sledgehammer bounced back and knocked some teeth out. So I had a picture of my teeth getting knocked out, and someone was just like, well, then they could see the properties, and they're like, oh, you buy this crazy property and then you show us this. And anyway, it's just now people know where I live, so they know, like, they could look up facts about it. It was just, anyway, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
It doesn't matter what people think. I put it out there.
It doesn't fucking matter what people think.
So the long tangent of like what I'm doing, we just went to the address.
Well,
it's creating these starseed based mobile sovereign communities for digital nomads.
What do you say when you say digital nomad? What do you mean exactly by
that? People living nomadically, entrepreneurs that
right.
have the freedom to live wherever, and there's not a lot of infrastructure for that. Got a one-stop shop where they won't have to leave. It's creating a workspace, working from wherever, and my workspace is a spaceship. It's also an event space.
Yeah.
It's a modular structure that's all shipping containers, 10,000 square feet. You could build it in 5 weeks. You could break it down in 5 weeks. This whole community can move, so it's all fluid. It would have infrastructure for 200 people to live there. Half would be in mobile vehicles, half would be in glamping domes for the first. Arcturus will be the first starseed community.
Wow. And you're envisioning that here in Phoenix, Arizona? Or, I mean, I guess we're in Sedona.
It could be in Phoenix. We don't know. We could be in Phoenix right here, right now. We're transporting
traveling.
Time and space, because Cornville could become Phoenix and Phoenix could become Cornville in the future. Everything, timelines are bleeding and stretching, and we could literally be like here, we're like in Phoenix, boom, we're in Cornville. So the first Arcturus would potentially, yes, the ultimate vision it'll be here in Cornville. And for instance, you'd have like different starseed based bases all over. Hypothetically, the Pleiades could be in Arkansas. You could have Andromeda in Baja. You could have Sirius in Idaho. So it could be this interconnected sort of intergalactic network, and each place would be different. Each place would have their own different themed accommodation.
Wow.
That's the ultimate vision. It's big. It's, people could spend a month in each place. They could maybe longer if it works out. And you got a tonic bar, a juice bar. You've got hot and cold pools. You've got a gym. You've got a health kind of emphasis on really improving yourself, people walking through their fear, and a support system for entrepreneurs that are changing the world, right?
Yeah. How about a garden?
Total everything. I mean, you have everything you need to be completely sovereign and self-sustainable, that you wouldn't have to rely on anything or anyone. So the system that really interests me is creating sort of more systems of gardens that are mobile. I'm no expert on that, but
they have mobile gardens.
They're not like at a place where you have a full complete setup, but it's more working with people that have a good expertise within that.
Yeah.
Because the whole goal is be potentially like, hey, we got to move. This show's got to go. We don't ever have to do it, but it has the infrastructure where we could have a circus.
Right.
A new big tops of spaceship.
The aliens traveling circus.
Right.
Yes.
So that's sort of the goal. So innately, I have this little property in sections, and right now there's a home, there's a garage. I'm turning into a studio. We're going to put like a little mirrored home, which is really, really cool, from Estonia. There's a geodesic dome. We'll have some container homes. And it's sort of the mini version of the big version. That's the Rainbow Bridge community. Well, the Rainbow Bridge community before Arcturus. You got to have the bridge to these starship communities. And there's lots of steps. Step 1 is the Rainbow Bridge community. Step 3 would be the Arcturus, Pleiades, all that stuff. Step 2, I'll have a big geodesic dome on the big property, and I could get 18 to 20 people there living in their RVs, vans, whatever you want to call it. And they're selected people that fit into the infrastructure of how do we create a new world. Right. Whether you're, we got a person that focuses on mobile gardening, a person focusing on legal services, a person focusing on education, the list goes on.
Right.
And right there you can have sort of a mastermind group of people that can, I don't know how a new world looks like. I know every system's dying, and we have 1 foot in, 1 foot out, so let's get all these people together and have a powwow.
Dude, yes. That's what we need to do, because I think, one thing that you inspire me with too is really just focusing on the world you want to create. Like, you're right, we do have one foot in and one foot out, so it's like, okay, where are we going to put our energy? Are we going to put it, which foot are we going to put it on? So I like your vision is just really moving towards the world you want to see, and like taking, you know, working with what you've got, starting with where you are, to just anchor more love, light, sovereignty, freedom, expression, art, all of that. Just, you know, you're doing it.
The only currency we have is literally attention we put on things. So if we don't want something, it's hard. You gotta like be like, I'm not there. I complain. Like, why am I complaining? I'm just feeding into what I don't want. Mm-hmm. So then the universe is like, let me give you more of that.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, you gotta check yourself. You constantly have to check yourself. So our currency literally is where we put our attention. So put your attention on what you want to be creating, not what you don't want.
Right.
So hopefully be around people you like.
Yeah.
Hopefully focus on things, you're creating something you like, and then the more of that will breed.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it's also like important to note, because even you mentioned, like, I think we all go through a period of time where we do see a lot of the darkness in the world, and we recognize it and we honor it in a sense, and then we're like, okay, like, I see you, and now I'm going to create something different. Like, you have to see that it's there in order to know that you don't want it, almost initially, you know. And you said you went through something like that back in 2013.
I still see it, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's easy to like look on the outside and be like, oh, there's darkness, but that's really just a darkness inside myself. So you take away that, you realize, oh, it's just me. I have to see that in me, and if I don't deflect out, I'm like, I have to own that. Like, what?
Yeah.
So I'm in it. I'm in my shadow here. I'm in the light too, but it's part of the process. Like, you start anything, you will face your shadow, and that's why I think it's a lot easier to see what's not working out there and put your energy there, to then pursue your own stuff, because you're going to see the shadow within you, and then you're like, oh, I have no one to blame but me. Right.
Yeah. And light cannot exist without the darkness. Like, without suffering, there would be no compassion. Without, you know, we are in this place of duality, in a sense, where we kind of...
It's accepting any state, which I can't say I'm there, but eventually that's where you want to get to, I think, is just like whatever comes your way. Whatever, once again, whatever way is the perfect metaphor, once again, of like why we're here in this crazy piece of land that I found.
Yeah.
Come on. Anyway. Accept it all. There's not like a state to be in, because if you want a certain way to be, feel a certain way, you're not accepting life.
Right. Yeah. And you talked about how earlier you were like, I'm done with comfortable. Like, I'm getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, and that really comes with, like, you're doing big things, you know, like, this is out of your comfort zone. Like you said, you weren't looking to renovate a house, or, you know, and you're trying to do all these big things, and it's easy to feel uncomfortable and scared, but really just leaning into that and getting used to it.
I mean, I don't know if I ever have gotten used to it, because I'm still denying it, you know, and it's like, you know, how do you... I mean, I got hot water for the first time in a week. That was nice. I mean, it's nice to have some... I mean, it's not like I'm not... like, there's 24/7 straight. It's good to have a few things. I appreciate a little kava and some hot water.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, like, you know, it's just the unknown, you know, and when the unknown involves, like, you overseeing a lot of things and a lot of money is involved with that, it can provide a lot of anxious thoughts, for sure.
Yeah.
But that's what breeds new life, and new experiences are not going to be comfortable. So if you want to do anything new, guess what? If you want to be comfortable, it ain't going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like growing pains.
I'm experiencing those, and I'm losing teeth in the midst of it, you know. Like, you know, it's like I lost my tooth on the battlefield, and that's construction zone. It's a good metaphor.
Right. And I think it just, you know, it's so easy when we're on this like new venture and we're all excited, and then something like that happens. It's so easy to be like, fuck, am I doing the right thing? Like, shit, blah blah. But you really just like,
when you're in it, like you're in the river. The river right now is potent, it's strong, and it's flowing. You can try to go upstream and find that rock, but guess what? The minute, because you've gone upstream and you haven't accepted it, it's going to slap you probably 1,000 times stronger once you actually get off that rock and be like, damn, why did I go back to that rock? It was a false sense of comfort.
Yeah, right. And sometimes you just got to keep pushing, keep going.
You're deep in.
Yeah.
You got to just, I'm like, there's nowhere to go.
Except where I'm going.
And I don't know where I'm going, and that doesn't make me feel good.
Right.
But it's going somewhere, and I think a lot of people are going there too.
Yeah.
In other ways, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just appreciate, because I know a lot of people talk about wanting to get on land, wanting to go be in a van, wanting to go do these things, myself included. Like, I talk about that shit all the time, but I'm really inspired by you and your story because you're doing it, and you are, like, spearheading this movement, and it brings comfort to me in these uncertain times, knowing that, like, there's someone out there who cares about the community and is, you know, doing things about it.
And I think these times of uncertainty are going to really, a lot of people are going to be rewarded for the ones that actually have the courage to actually do something in the times where there's actually no vital signs that it could work, because, you know, look at the outside world. It's completely, I don't even want to make a comment on it. It's just, you don't know where things are going. So
Right.
if you're making major moves in the most, I just read an article today, like the amount of prices of like metal or just goods is the most it's ever been in
Right.
God knows how long. Steel went up 23% today. So if
Just
you're
today?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So if you're like trying to like plan on building or do stuff in this time, you'll get rewarded. It's just a lot of people won't want to do that now because they have to see something before they make the leap.
Right. Well, and I mean, it's really just the system or matrix or whatever you want to call it, like trying as hard as they can to disincentivize people doing the thing, you know, because the wood's more expensive, this is more expensive, everything's harder. But in those moments is really when we can call upon the strength of God and the strength of the light and the strength of these things to just do it. And I do believe we all will be rewarded.
It's just a journey of faith to, like, it has to show up then.
Yeah.
So that's why things have to get so-called bleak, I think, to see the light shine through.
Yeah.
And not that things are bleak right now. I mean, what's light, what's dark, I don't even know, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But it's all a faith journey. So the more, I think that's all I'm doing all this for. It's not the end product at all. It's just to see faith come in. And I can't say it's always there. My relationship's not so strong that it's I think I was listening to some pastor. I appreciate Christianity. I'm not a Christian, but he just talked about how, like, part of that journey is massive amounts of doubt. It's not like, you know, you have this faith that's does not
unwavering.
Yeah, that doesn't happen. A big part of it is doubt, and there's a lot of doubt for sure. But, you know, I'm in it, so it's like I'm in the doubt train in the midst of seeing where things are going. I don't know where they're going to lead to, and that's all right.
Yeah. But you also have those moments when the miracles do happen, or the synchronicities or whatever it is. They can be so potent that you're just like, all right, I got this.
For sure. You know, we're supported. It's just getting over certain feelings of, like, we don't like this. I don't like the way this feels. It's just a feeling, but yeah.
Well, we are all human alien hybrids, so it is normal for us to have feelings.
And embrace them all.
Yeah. The other thing, before we wrap up, I just want to talk about too, like, the other thing I really admire about you is your ability to flow. You seem to really just embody that of waiting until the spirit moves you. How'd you learn that skill, or how are you practicing that?
I think I've just received so many synchronicities by just not having a straight trajectory. So I think when you're not in a normal schedule, like the flow of life doesn't have a 9 to 5 schedule.
Yeah.
And when you're not in that, then you see the synchronicities, and they lead you this trail to this thing to this thing. There's just been so much of an abundance, like, to the point where it's like, whoa, like, to the point of, like, it makes you really question, like, what is what. Like, the day my teeth got knocked out the other day, what was I wearing? A freaking shark shirt with a missing. Like, I always thought this shirt was so fucking weird, because why does the shark have a missing tooth? And it was the same spot, just on the other side of the mouth, and I'm just like, I smell a rat. Like, what's going on here? There's just so much of information, and information then can guide you to flow more.
Yeah, the universe is always talking to us if we open ourselves up to that channel of. I mean, sometimes it's harder to hear, for damn sure. Sometimes I'm like, Spirit, help. But there's other times where it's really undeniable, the messages and synchronicities and the way things like move to orchestrate things happening. Like there's moments where I'm just like, what, this is bigger than me, and I don't even understand it.
I mean, yeah, I think that's a great place to be right now, because we don't really know.
We don't know shit.
I mean, I see these things, but I'm like, I want to know more, because I don't know what is happening.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Like, how do we get here? I have no idea how this happened.
I know, we are in the Rainbow Bridge van talking about all sorts of shit with aliens, beings, unicorns, rainbows.
This is kind of like a cocoon, and it's sort of like, I think, a good analogy of, I think a lot of us are in a cocoon phase, like we're about to bust open to something and we don't know what, but we're just like, I stand up and I'm right, like there's no room, like
this is definitely a cocoon,
right? It's just like boom. When I bust through this, it could be interesting.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I'm really happy to have you here on this alien path, Earth journey with me, making me feel normal, or actually making me feel not normal, but in a beautiful way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, thanks for being here too. It's just about putting out that energy you have, and then attracting the right people that resonate with that. It's just a frequency, and realize that we're shifting, and it's probably good to not relate to anything that society is going through right now, because why would you? And if you're just if you've always never had that, you're then more people are more accepting of, not that the goal is that people are accepting of a new path, but everyone's ready for a new path. And I've never had that path, so welcome to my path, because this is the path I've always walked.
Right?
It's a weird path, but
it's beautiful.
It's the path of rainbows and light
and unicorns and light. Well, we have two card decks here. We have the Starseed Oracle deck, which I feel like we're definitely alien friends, and then the Lumeria deck, which is one of my favorites too. And that Lumeria is we were probably friends in Lumeria too.
I wouldn't be surprised. We got this like other world of like the spirit world where we're all just dancing, and I don't have complete access to that at all. Like, but I'm sure there's a lot more commingling going on in that world than in this world, because that's orchestra. It's like the orchestra's up there, and we're just the instruments being dangled and played with. Like, I'm just a sock puppet.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's a colorful sock puppet.
Yours is a colorful sock puppet for sure.
Anyway, I'm sure there's lives and dimensions and...
Yeah, it's all happening. I don't know the things, but definitely love these cards, and would be honored if you would pull a card for the people. I don't know. Ooh, there's one already on top.
There's already one on top.
I probably pulled that last time.
Yeah, well, we're in transformational times. So
we are in transformational times. That's the card it was.
That would definitely... Let's see what we got here. It's a beautiful deck.
It is beautiful.
You definitely know your beautiful card decks.
Tim, you are a good reader. You've pulled cards for me several times.
And you've done for me too. We've read each other.
We have read each other. Some good times.
I can pull a card out of the tarot deck too if we want.
Ooh, pull whatever cards you want, Tim.
Right.
You have it in your alien bag?
I got it in my pocket.
Oh, your pocket? You have your...
They're like my best friend.
Yeah.
So, all right, what do we got here? Manifestia.
I think that goes along with what we were just talking about, with like giving our energy and attention towards the things that we do want to see created in the world.
Yeah, I think things are just magnifying, and it's really about checking ourselves to be like, why am I complaining? Why am I being affected by anything like that? That's just like, it takes a lot of practice, because it's not easy to not be fazed by things.
Yeah.
But really, it doesn't matter. None of that matters. It's just distractions to then get us off the path.
Yeah. It is. I've been reminding myself a lot lately that nothing matters. But then I teeter into this other area where I'm like, nothing fucking matters. So why am I doing anything? But
right.
It is like a fine balance between, I think, just recognizing and, like I lost some, like what comes to mind for me is I lost a bunch of stuff on my phone when I got a new phone, and it was hard and it hurt. But at the end of the day, I was like, well, fuck it. Doesn't really matter. Like, it only matters if I say it does. And like, that stuff wanted to leave, so yeah, nothing matters.
Yeah, I mean, I think of it as one of the only reasons why to do anything is if you do those things, then you're not so focused on the other things. Mm-hmm. So might as well focus on creating something that might not matter, but at least it is a lot more cool and fun and magical than whatever I see out there.
And it's like, well, if nothing matters, then why not just enjoy yourself and enjoy the ride?
And go for the most craziest, ridiculous thing possible.
Yeah.
And it may never happen, but at least the journey of that, going for it, I'm sure something along the way will happen inside me that will break open a new version of some insight that I never would have gotten.
Right. Yeah. And you're just following your highest joy. Sometimes, I guess it's
right. And then sometimes it's, the process is never easy to start something, like we're not in this like ease and grace time of like, you're going to change the world with just no sweating.
Yeah, no, we gotta be grounded here on this plane doing the things.
The hard work, like nothing gets going without any hard work,
Right.
Like, I mean, yeah, I believe things can flow and stuff, but there has to be a balance. Like,
right.
And I don't know if a lot of people want to do that, and that's cool, not a problem. But
right.
if you want to do something, it's you got to put in that the sweat.
Yeah, I think I've spent a lot of time, like when I first started learning about like getting more into spirituality and manifestation. You watch, like one of the first things I watched when I was like 18 or something was The Secret, and it's all about like, well, I thought checks, and then there were checks, and that's beautiful, and I do think that things can come with the power of our mind, but really, for me, it's been a journey in learning that, like, it's trusting and then getting the inspiration to do the thing. Like, I can't just... Maybe some other people can just sit there and manifest checks and things, and not to say that I've manifested some checks, but in terms of me wanting to build anything, like, I gotta get my hands dirty and do the thing, and sometimes the hard things that aren't as fun.
Yeah, initiation. It doesn't always have to be hard. Like, it's not. I'm a big fan of working smarter, not harder.
Right.
It's a big thing, because you can also just work yourself to the point of like stuff can happen.
Yeah.
But it all in due balance.
Always a balance.
Should I pull this deck?
Yeah, let's do it. Starseed Oracle. What you got? I cleared the energy.
I had this deck, and I saw your deck, and I wanted to get it because last time I pulled some cards from this deck, I really liked it, and now my deck is just falling apart. It's completely lost its whole. Like,
really?
It's busted out of the box.
Oh
like
yeah, this box kind of does. It's not the best traveling box.
Right.
But they are beautiful cards. I love these cards. It's Starseed Oracle by Rebecca Campbell.
And I've yet to even see like a third of the cards. It's just I barely pull these cards, but they're always like, it'll go direct. I pulled a card for a guy, and it literally told him the exact website to go to like give him say this mantra or something.
Really?
It would be very specific, oddly weird advice.
Yeah, these decks. Yeah, I love this deck. That's cool though. I love when the cards speak so clearly that it's like goosebumps.
Empathic starseed. Energetic sovereignty, absorbing what's not yours. So there is a lot of work in figuring out how to do that. I'm definitely not in the expertise of really protecting myself completely.
I don't think anyone has everything figured out, Tim, so it's okay.
But it's important because everyone's got stuff, right? Like everyone's kind of like lingering with whatever, and it's important to figure ways to protect one's aura.
Yeah, for sure. And
that's for everyone too. I mean, I took that as like my own, but I think where we all live in a world right now where everyone is just throwing stuff on everybody.
Yeah, it's absolutely happening. But I mean, I think that you do kind of embody this some way, and I work to embody it too in the allowing the full expression of ourselves without worrying about what people think. Like, and I've been working a lot on envisioning like a literal shield around myself, because as I put myself out there more, I can feel the thoughts or the conversations and things. So I just that's something I'm working on embodying too, just like, all right, like I want to be influenced by source and the light and my true soul, and allow that expression to show up.
Good advice.
I mean, I don't know if it's advice. That's just what I've been doing.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll pull one more card. I'll pull the tarot card for us.
Tarot.
Which is this deck that I really like now, because I always had these bigger cards. This is like a smaller one. And
it's in a tin.
And it's good for the road. You know, like these ones. I had all these decks that were like the what do you call the thing they go in? I don't know.
The boxes?
Not in the boxes, but like tarot, especially with like, they're thin, like you know what I'm talking about. Like its case kept ripping.
Yeah.
So I like needed something that was secure, and this is my most favorite.
Ooh, they're beautiful.
And they're smaller. They're like just big enough to like
go in your pocket.
Yeah, this is definitively I even left one at Lacuna where we've spent a lot of time, this Kava bar in Phoenix, and I just said, just keep the deck. Like they're like, and the bartender was like, oh my god, thanks so much. I've been pulling so many cards for people, and I'm like, it belongs here. I don't need the big deck. This is like these cards. This card size is just it feels right, and I need a tin that can hold that. And this one is very
beautiful. The lion on top and bottom. I like that.
So, you know, I think this card speaks a lot to like where we are right now. It's like everything's so unstable.
Two of Pentacles, where
like, you know, really rough waters, you know, ships are swaying back and forth, but it's the ability to really just find that sort of peace and clarity and balance in the midst of just major turmoil all around you. Yeah. You're able to maneuver chaos.
Right. And I think getting back to like our specific little corner of Eden, or our specific little corner of the earth, like every time I go out into nature, I'm just brought back to the truth of like, wow, like nothing's wrong. Everything is just unfolding in the beautiful divine way that it is, you know, and the truth is that there is no right or wrong. It all just...
Well, that's I think the future we're headed to, right? It's like people are going to get trapped in duality and like, this is right, this is wrong. Like everything's happening for this purpose of leading us to where God knows where. But the more we can not get attached to that duality stuff, the more I think we'll be freed. You know, I think right now we're on this like these tracks, and I think these tracks are just going to like at one point split. And I've heard that from a lot of people, and I don't know what that exactly means. What I've heard is one is that looping cycle that you'll just get. It gets to the point where like you're just there, and you've attracted and manifested that life. And then there's the other one where it's like, you know, we're taking responsibility for whatever's happening.
Right.
That's hard.
It is hard.
But I think that's the only way right now.
Right, and just leaning into the whole experience and just keeping that peace and remembering really that our souls, for whatever fucking reason, came here for this this unfolding and this transition that the whole earth is in. And I think the more that we can just remember that it's all good, like it's all written, it's all already happened in some sense too, you know, like we're really just along for the ride, is what I keep reminding myself.
And just feeling it. So like whether something that we don't like, we want to like get out of that feeling, because we can define something and not feel a certain way. Right. It's literally just feeling it. That's, I think, what it comes down to, just feeling whatever that's coming up and making you feel like, all right, I'm feeling this. Yeah. I'm not going to say anything about it. I'm just like, ooh, I get to feel.
Yeah.
And through that, I think you'll get some insight.
Yeah, the moment you can like actually just allow yourself to feel the thing, we spend so much time just pushing it away and not wanting to feel it. I do that all of the time. But when I finally just surrender to the feeling, you feel a little bit lighter.
It's just going right into it, not denying it. Just
pew, pew. Here we go. Dang. Well, thanks, Tim. This was fun.
Yeah, thanks for coming into the Rainbow Bridge.
I'm honored that I got to be a part of this and sit down with you. Thank you for taking the time, and I really enjoyed this conversation, and I hope you guys listening did too.
Boom, boom.
All right, anything else you want to say to the people? You good?
Just walk into the unknown with ease and grace and be fearless.
Be fearless in the pursuit of your life.
And when in doubt, find a llama corn to snuggle.
Yeah, exactly. Let your inner child come out to play. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Tim. I'll catch you all on the flip side. Back on Earth side. Before we get out of here, I just want to thank Tim one more time for coming on and lighting up with me. I had such a fun time with this conversation, and he's such an awesome guy to talk to. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening. And now I'm going to throw a video on the end of this that Tim made. So if you're watching on YouTube, you're really in for a treat. You'll be able to see really the vision that Tim has for not only the Rainbow Bridge van, but the Rainbow Bridge community. And either way, if you're listening, I think you'll get something out of it. So thank you again so much for tuning in. I hope that you guys got something out of this, and may you carry this light with you through the remainder of the week. Mwah!
I'd like you all to go on a little journey with me through a gateway to a whole new reality. Just imagine, what if the whole world looked like this van? Like, you look at all these homes, they look standard, they look like boxes. I look at nature. Nature has color. There's like some mountains in Peru, and they call it the painted mountains. Have you looked at hummingbirds? They're freaking neon. So like, we have just stepped away from potentially what nature's giving us as inspiration. I feel like we live in a muted world. So when you throw in neon in the mix, it shakes up this whole muted world. This van has been a magnet to every single walk of life. And that's how we transcend to a whole new reality, through dynamic art. That's what a rainbow bridge is. And that whole concept has inspired me to take the Rainbow Bridge philosophy to go way beyond a van and actually into a whole new community. A community in which you don't just look at art in a museum, you live in it. A place where being bold is praised. Come stay at the Rainbow Bridge community. Let's live outside the freaking box.
Funk past J's and face of blunt ashtrays and skate with punk kids. I still chase the some bad days. I'm lacing up half cabs and shake John spliffs. Whatever happened to rap, it should rest in peace to Mac, and I'm here to raise it from the dead. Cause drugs ain't cool, kid, plug you with that new shit. Turn water to wine and break bread. And if I said this all the future, would you trust I told the truth, or would you run away and tell my whole fan base? Cause sooner or later, kid, they'll take your human nature and they'll burn you at the stakes while the band plays. So, in the last words, better speak up now. I said, why do birds sing? What's a king without a crown? They all stood in silence while they listened to the sound of a madman reason with the demons he found. You can't lock up ideas, we don't even exist. I just live through the speakers and the beats that we kick. Is this forbidden fruit from the Garden of Eden? Is it freedom of speech, or am I speaking for freedom?